everybody, and welcome. I am the Beta Plan, and this is Crusader Kings 2, with, as is evidently by the map, the Total Conversion Faerûn mod installed, and this in particular is the Experimental 5 build. If you are interested yourself in this mod, or want to get into contact with the devs, then follow the link down below in the doobly-doo of this video series. You can go to the Discord and get yourself the experimental build as well. The devs have given themselves the, well, more or less assignment to try each Friday to bring out a new experimental build, and this build is almost ready for release, so I'm gonna call this the pre-0.4 release build. And a lot has been changed. You can see the all kinds of changes already in the poll of what they've all done, but among them are different governmental types, the religion has been reworked, new species have been added, well, and a whole lot more. And I put up a poll like, what do you guys want to see? Do you want me to start in Chult? Or do you want to go to, well, the new continent of which I said and went on record, hey, you know, they're probably not gonna add this, and of course the devs make me look like a fool. But this is a desert, and I already said welcome to the jungle, so yeah, it was 33% of the votes was for Zakara and 33% of the votes for Chult. That is a lot, but unfortunately Zakara doesn't have a lot of differences in species, or a lot of religions going on. If you look at this, this is pretty tame. Where if I go up in here in Chult, and all of a sudden you can see it is broken down into many different types, and that is what makes Chult an interesting start. So in the end I went with that part of the 33% of the vote. Having said that, it obviously means I have to do yet another series on this. Oh no, how bad, how unfortunate for me. That was going to have to play around somewhere in Zakara, or who knows, I mean, I'm not going to go on record to say it again, but who knows, they might add Karatur, the continent that is here to the east, because one didn't say enough Zakara, so well, maybe I should say they won't add Karatur, and then they will add Karatur, who knows. But yeah, there is a whole continent down here to play with, but I have to say that is, well, as you can already see, this is the Western Xiao provinces. It is basically a sort of big Ming there. There's a huge empire around there, and then there are some independent nations, mostly along the coast, if I recall. But yeah, perhaps not as diverse. Well, I know it's not as diverse as Faerûn itself, and definitely not as Chult. But yeah, the map has gone on great expansions. You can even see here a addition of an island that has been introduced in 5e after the magical calamity that happened in the timeline of Faerûn. But we are playing in 1362. The calamity hasn't happened yet, and in order to make sure that things don't go wrong, well, you cannot play here, which is excellent, because it's not actually supposed to be there. I really wonder about how Evermeet feels about this, the fact that they are all of a sudden not all so much alone out there. But yeah, we're going to play in Chult, and we're going to go to the jungle, which has one disadvantage I found out later. This lady is a Yuan-Ti, and I like to play as her, but I cannot pick for her any of the new from the new classes. I can't pick Druid or Sorcerer of her, because I assume her luring is just too low. Whereas this lady is a Sorcerer, with one of those lovely new Sorcerer traits, which but she, unfortunately, these are plains and not a jungle, and I can't play Yuan-Ti in Welcome to the Jungle song if I'm not playing in a jungle. Besides, for me personally, and this is a little bit confusing, I have to admit, the Chult Peninsula starts more at Lapalia, which is how I pronounce it, because I don't know what to do with these double E's, so I'm maybe pronouncing it wrong. Down to the Westwall Mountains, that's where the Chult Peninsula begins. And you can see that basically by doing Lapalia over here in Chult. This is where the Chult Peninsula begins. But then you can see there's the Chult Empire. And then there's the Chult Kingdom. So if I say I'm going to play Yuan-Ti in the Chult region, I prefer to play in the Chult region, in the Chult region, where the jungles of the Yuan-Ti truly are. And there are a lot of things in this 1462 start. For instance, Asarak the Devourer, and you might know him, for instance, if you ever played a Binder, for instance, in the 3.5 editions, or simply by some spells or lore. Asarak the Devourer is a lich that came from another plane in order to conquer the nation of Omu. Its queen deposed after her grandmother was already deposed by, well, making a deal with fiends and changing into a Medusa, and thereby losing actually all the things that she wanted. her eternal beauty. Because she is an immortal, but no longer beautiful. And yeah, in this case, she's been made in Yuan-Ti, because Medusas haven't been introduced yet. But I think that's fine, because lore-wise, there are a lot of Yuan-Ti around in these jungles all over the place, but just sporadically. And, well, here they have added a few Yuan-Ti. If I go to cultures, there, you can see there are some Yuan-Ti, so I think that is actually pretty good to add just an additional Yuan-Ti province over here, because otherwise it's going to be a bit difficult, because there are Yuan-Ti over here, Yuan-Ti over there, and, well, there are some Nagas over here, which are close, they're scaly kind, and there are some Praetorian folk who are following the scaly kind, but they're not Yuan-Ti, so, you know, it's fine. But yeah, Praetorian folk we already knew, we knew of the Nagas, nothing new, but there are, also in this region, Sahuagin, or Shogun, as I sometimes have heard people pronounce it. But I think you should say Sahuagin, but yeah, that's how I go with it. These are these shark people, and they are around, as well as, for instance, sea elves. They're all in this region, which is why it's so cool to play around here. They're even Arakokra. They look like Tengu Kenku, we've seen them before, the same type of portrait, but they are a different type of avian species. And normally they have all feathers around, and Arakokra, from my memory, they are a lot more colorful. They are also are present, for instance, in the Dark Sun setting. They had like red feathers, for instance, whereas Kenku are more like raven, crow-like people, so black. So it's very interesting to see them also now present. And yes, we even have now giants around here, and we have fire newts, a sort of, I'm gonna say kobold derivative. I hope I'm not well, making some people angry, but yeah, they've used the lizard folk portraits at the moment, but I can understand that they're a small, scaly type of creature, very closely akin to the kobolds who are over here. So I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't use the kobold portraits instead of the lizard folk portraits. Just make some kobold portraits completely red, because I think fire newts are red, by my knowledge. But it's been a while since I played in Faerûn. I played in Faerûn when it was still Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Back in the ye old days before some of you possibly were even born. I doubt that. I probably played when you guys were already born. But yeah, AD&D is old. So, but we have Hizari here, and we are not in a good position. Not at all. If you want a very interesting episode, then the first interesting episodes are going to be about lore. There is a duke here who has de jure claims on us, but he himself doesn't hold any de jure land, so he tends to, in the two games that I played, he simply gives up his title, because he doesn't hold de jure lands, so good luck for you, Chosen of Ubatoa, immortal, legendary wizard. But yeah, he's a legendary wizard, so his troop count really isn't this, because he just summons troops. Then we have the Sahuagin, who are level of levies. This man is protected by the King of Chult, also another immortal, legendary paladin. And Yuan-Ti tend to be more on the evil side, you know, sacrificing slaves to become a god is something that Yuan-Ti have tried before. Not all Yuan-Ti, just Yuan-Ti, but yeah, those type of things are something that Yuan-Ti can do. And this is a paladin, also the paladin who has opened up Mesro, who was for the longest time invisible to outsiders, and even the walls had magical enchantment to cast confusion on anyone that came near it that wasn't a Chultan themselves. Or a follower of WttJ, I think it was even that specific. So, yeah, but he opened it up, he opened it up in such a way that now he's also protecting these people. But at least it's no longer one country, so I don't expect him to blob as much as he used to do. But this guy is protected. He has too many troops. This is a high-level wizard. This is a tribal person with more troops than I own, unfortunately. This is a dwarf with more troops than I own, unfortunately. Can you see the predicament? Everything around us is stronger than us. Everything. This is not going to be the episode in which we expand like crazy. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to sit back, relax, enjoy a little bit of lore that I'm going to dump here and there on you. See me try and do some weird stuff because I'm going to go rogue, as I want my intrigue to go up, as we're also going to go for the seduction focus. And I'm going to choose a god. That is also good in intrigue. And of course I'm going to go from Nihilate and Betrayal, because that one has more rival deities should be better for us. For more war declaration, and also pissing off people, because apparently I want to make it myself difficult. I am unfortunately delicate, so my attraction opinion is not high. And unfortunately I'm a count, so if I go for a matrilineal marriage, almost no one wants to marry me unless they are just some super low nobody. I first want to try and, for instance, seduce this gentleman. And in fact, I'm going to throw money at it to try and get that done. We're not going to go to war anyways in this one. And if I can get this guy to be seduced by me, we get a love child. Then we could actually inherit part of the Serpentis Empire. Now, unfortunately, it's called the Serpentis Empire, the Yuan-Ti Empire, but down here it's called Lapalia, which is just an insult to all of the Yuan-Ti. And basically, we have to restore that empire, and seeing we come from Chult, I think that we're going to make an empire around this territory. Possibly adding Lantan and Nimbral to it as well. But something like that should be the goal. That should take a good amount of episodes. Seeing we have absolutely no power in the beginning. Absolutely none. We're not bad. We are chaste, which isn't very good. And in fact, because we already have learning 1, it really doesn't help anything at all. The fertility boost is just disadvantage. Stubborn, deceitful. That works a little bit now because we make it work, even if our topic of intellectual interest is different. And then we have ambitious, which is awesome. I mean, that's fine. But these two are just not that good. So yeah, that is a thing that we have. Then we're gonna go and say, you are going to do this. Then I've noticed that this guy is unfortunately as a diplomat, but he is better as a steward, so we're gonna change the council position. Advantages of doing a little test game from here. Let's hope and get you this. You don't have to do anything, I'm just trying to make you happy. And yeah, there is no technology to steal. There's no technology to steal, so we're gonna have to try and do that. Did that just succeed? Or did it just say you're gonna start it? I think I just started it. Which I have done a few test games and I was sometimes unable to seduce anyone. So, this is not a guaranteed plan. Ooh. Actually he is attracted. That is already much better than it happened the last time around. Leave a note to meet me by the stream? I mean, that's kind of intrigue. Alright, he's interested. Shall I confess my love? I'm just gonna confess my love here. Ooh. Oh, I've lost a chaste trait. Okay. That is so much better than I ever had before. So he is now my lover. But I think at 100... Yeah, he's still not willing to come to my court because he is at a higher tier. That is not exactly what I want, but we have a lover now that is the heir to a duchy. If we can get a love baby, that is perfect. I think I'm also going to try and seduce this guy, but I won't put money into this one. But if we can get some children from them, it would be excellent. Oh, he immediately says no to the seduction. Just gonna seduce somebody in my own court, I guess. No, but I don't really want them to make a baby with me. Oh, I already got pregnant. Wait, and the fates have cursed me, but I can't tell them who is the father. That's annoying. This would be accepted, but then my dynasty would have lost, and then the game is over, which is annoying. If he's not married after this, and we get a boy, are we absolute kinetic? No, if we can get a female, then we actually are about daughters. That's cool. That's actually perfect. I will need to pray for my child's good health. Quote, love poetry, love him and leave him. It's just something to get our trade up, nothing more, nothing less. And we can definitely change this focus around as soon as time comes around. Unmarried but pregnant. Oh, I'm surely blessed. Okay, it's a good child. It's a good child. That's good. That's good. I am very interested. This has not happened during the previous game. I'm glad you came. My lover is here to give me some additional comfort. Come on. Can we tell them that this child is ours? I would love it. By the way, our shield is kind of boring. Our shield should change. We are a scaly kind. We need a scaly kind of portrait. Nope. That is I thought for a moment that was some kind of a snake taking anything. No, that's killing snakes. That is just a boring old snake. There's something more intriguing. That's too monstrous for... I like this one. I always have loved this one, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm a sucker apparently for this one. Is one the only yellow one? There's only the yellow we have. Alright, then we're gonna go with something greenish. Can we go with the dark green version? Yeah. And then we're gonna change the white around to be light green. Now then this should be a go red. A dark red. Yeah, there we go. That is a better... It's still not a superb shield, but it's a good shield. It is known that this is of him. It's a Yuan-Ti abomination. That is a little less. Is it a boy or... It's a boy. So that means we still have to remain unmarried. Well, we're gonna name him after his father. Or after his grandfather. Gazivan. Maybe then he doesn't accept that. The game is like, I don't know what that means. I will name him after his father. But it's not our heir. That's annoying. It is my dynasty. I cannot do it at the expense of my own health. Because he's not the heir. Oh boy. How about the laws? If I reigned for 10 years, I can change it to agnatic cognatic. Woman inherit on the same ground men do, but maybe because he's a bastard this doesn't work? If my piety is higher than 20, then I can legitimize him. Maybe then it will work. We'll have to see. Did this just change? Oh, it was already dead, but I don't know why that changed, but... We have an abomination as our child. Well, this also means that our warfare is going to take even longer, because our best causes belli that we have is... There he goes, he removes his duchy title. Is a conquest, which takes 50 piety. But if we need to also legitimize our son, this abomination, then, well, then it's going to be... darn thing is he's delicate. He's inherited my delicacy. Oh. Give him a taste of what he's missing. Sure. Still, he didn't inherit my brilliantness. My brilliantness? Yeah, that is a word. Clearly I'm brilliant. But he only inherited the delicate part. Ah, that is just such a bad trade-off. Now the question is, who is... No, they don't go down that line. Sure, we'll get an extra lover. Why not? Because it creates a Yuan-Ti that's strong. This may be useful to us. In fact, you know what? Let's do it. This person... sorry. Matrilineal marriage. Still not allowed anything else but the ones that are in my court. Taking another incredible prestige hit. We're now in the -100. That is really bad. But this guy is at least strong and attractive. Okay, so that is good enough for me to say that is worthy of some bonuses. Of taking that prestige hit, but yeah, poof. Good news, darling. I am pregnant once again. Okay. Did something change here in the Talishar? I thought I saw a name move. Don't know. Still, I'm interested to legitimize this child. But it also depends a little bit on what gets born out of this incredible, this strong, attractive... He's a Melissan, by the way. So, now we have all the 3 Yuan-Ti subspecies already present in our court. So, we are a pureblood. The purebloods are the ones that you see often depicted in when it comes to a human-like serpent creature. The Yuan-Ti are a species of serpentine creatures who come in many forms. The pureblood are the most widespread and are capable of reproducing with humans. So that is a really interesting part of them. They are broadly human in appearance themselves, but often noticeable reptilian traits with green skin, fangs, or forked tongues. Then we go to abominations. The Yuan-Ti are a species of... the abominations are the largest and rarest of them all, with entirely snake-like bodies and muscular, scaly arms. Which, unable to compete with the purebloods for subtlety or the Melissans for agility, they are revered as the greater form of the Yuan-Ti race. Basically, the image on the right that you see on the thumbnail of this series. And this in particular is a Melissan. The Melissans are overly snake-like in part, often having ophidian heads, scaly skin and sometimes tails. They are physically strong but lack the social capabilities of purebloods. They have additional mutations making them look more snake-like, but well, this guy clearly doesn't have an ophidian head, unlike our son over here, which is an ophidian head, so snake-like type of head. But what he does have, as you can see at the back here, he has a tail. The fact that he has a tail doesn't always, by the way, in case of a Melissan, I believe, excludes them from having also feet. But I'm not entirely certain of that. The scaly skin is a true scaly skin, unlike pureblood, which would look more like that. Oh, yeah, my husband wants me to have some health. Sure and fine. Regency. I really do love talking. Did not gain gregarious. Unfortunate. Could have used a little bit of diplomacy buff. And there is the heir. This is a Melissan. Okay, as well. So unlike his brother. And he is quick. Which is neither brilliant nor has his father's traits. Which I still don't like as a thing. We did not get very good children. That's very unfortunate. We will name him after his father. And unfortunately we have no daughters because we're absolute kinetic. That would have inherited, which would have been cool. But yeah, now that we have that, I don't think... if we legitimize him, yeah, he becomes the heir. But that also makes me wonder what happens to this duchy title. I mean, he is now part of the family. Although he is delicate, he is my firstborn. And he should get a claim on this duchy when this guy is inherited. If I can kill this person, for instance, that should work out. But I don't want to weaken the Yuan-Ti in that area at the moment already. Maybe we just want a few more children just to have the interesting thing there. I was just about to say, didn't I pick an ambition? Ooh, what's happening over here? Findle! In my test games, they expanded very quickly. Defending against the Lapasian war to pay tribute. Dude, you could have done much better with that attack. And defending against the Black Wild and Conquest of Good. So these guys want to conquer. These guys want to subdue them. Alright. Well, we'll have to see. I think we should change now this focus. Oh, can't do that yet. We have an open council position. Chancellor. Well, that's going to be much better for this guy. And we're going to have to make a claim somewhere. I mean, we can conquest for piety, don't get me wrong, but... statecraft won't work much. Maybe we can show some discontent among these guys. I doubt it's gonna work, but... I wouldn't mind this guy being... oh, he's wounded. You know, effing off, if you will. Oh, he's married to her? Uh-oh. Chult is going to get a bit of an issue. Going to get claim this. Hopefully you will do something about that. Take down these dwarves. There's a lot of so discontent going on. That's nice, because we could use that. Yeah, if this child would have been better, I would have done it, but quick is good, don't get me wrong, but it's not mind-blowingly great. If he would have had brilliant and strong and attractive or parts of that, I would have not made this one my heir, but right now I feel that is fine. An excellent idea, let's study some languages. Doesn't in the end matter much. Just afraid of you. Now, we as Yuan-Ti, no special features. I don't think we can raid. Which is otherwise would have been nice to have done that. So if I say personal levies, I can raid. Why was that not showing me that before then? Now let's see if we can raid. Yeah, we can raid. Why can we raid? What is giving me the raid option? Oh no, it's just here. Rulers can raid infidels for loot. Oopsie doopsie. Well, let's make use of that then, shall we? Sounds like a grand old idea. Appointed as a regent. I lose 3 gold, but gain some prestige. I'm willing to do that, considering we just gained some money by raiding. Alright. Another abomination. Another boy. And this one is sickly. I don't like this name. Phonos. Sisimkandar would have been... ooh. Akhenatenaninin. That... Sizava. That sounds much more Yuan-Ti-like to me. Sure. Try and save him if you could. Thank you very much. There we go. He gained some health. So we have several sons. That's not going to give any trouble with the inheritance later on, or what have you not. Oh, I might gain stress, but I also might gain diligent. And I gain diligent, okay. She is starting to become very interesting as a character. Also, we have a ton of cash. We could almost hire 2 mercenary bands and expand. I would love it if I would basically be able to sneak out either the Sawagan, like take them out sneakily, get them to go, because then we can have enough of the Duchy of the Tabaxi land at the moment, and I will rename that because we are not Tabaxi, we are not cat-like. And this guy is under protection of this gentleman. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take him out. Wait a second. Win history. I don't think you were part of it, but I think you may have been conquered by him already. So he's expanded. Yeah, 1,800. That's going to be too difficult for me to take down. The problem is this guy is not weak at all. And he's not even a good warrior, but still, yee. Trained paladin. He's ambitious. He has a war focus. You know what? Maybe that is what we should switch to. We've done our seductions. It didn't entirely pan out, although this guy should get a claim to a duchy, which would be interesting. So we can look for it, and we can definitely start... What in the world? Oh my dear, they've made... Okay, this is amazing. They've made now baby Knoll characters, but they've given it a dog and they've given it a little pink bow tie if it's a female to make it be seen. Why are you looking like this? The Knolls have gotten a great update. Oh my dear, I'm afraid of you just by the way you look. We're at the Wormstalker clan, but you don't have any land? No, you seem to have just lost your land. Alright, yeah, the Knolls have gotten a great update. Oh, wow. You seem to have already lost your land. That is interesting. I don't want to marry my abomination with a Knoll. I think we have to marry them with Yuan-Ti culture, or otherwise there is no way, no say, oh, how they're going to get children. So we need Yuan-Ti, like this lady. 0 years old, pretty and smart, so we can get some things going on. It's not a high up thing, but it's good enough. I mean, she is beautiful. But I don't think you can get a life child with... I'm just gonna do this one. It's not gonna be good for his prestige, but it is an attractive marriage for me. And you, I am afraid... you're gonna have to, as a Malazan. They can't get children with humans, supposedly, but... You are Yuan-Ti? Actually, you are Yuan-Ti. You came out human, but you have Yuan-Ti blood. Trouble between her and my youngest son? Would work. Would get us an alliance. We have an alliance. With Narrowbell. Alright, so not a lot happened in this episode, except that we just gained a valuable alliance, which is one, which is very powerful. Secondly, we got some children, so at least by virtue of our bloodline we are doing well. We are gathering money, and we might be able to conquer something. We're going to have to be sneaky about it. It's either going to be you, taking him down somehow, keeping this at bay, or taking down him. I would love to have this, don't get me wrong, because this is feudal, and this is why I'm still looking at it, despite this being the better target, but also a lot of troops on his own. And we may be able to kick him out, kick his army down before he can do much before his Big Daddy arrives. But we're going to have to see that in the next episode. I say I thank you for watching, and remember, great peril yields great beauty.